Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. We need to take a quick pit stop to discuss this creepy behavior. Here is the video I have seen. I haven't had the opportunity to see any other angles of this moment, but this is what we are working with right here, and it's enough to make a judgment on what's going on. If you don't recognize this moment, brief recap here. Meghan, a few days after getting criticized for trampling over burned down homes where the homeowners hadn't even had a chance to come and see if their house was alive or not, days after that intense criticism and backlash in the media that was unanimous, Meghan showed up to give lunch and some donations to this girl who we can only assume was doing some sort of organizing of her community because her school burned down, something like that. But it has now come out that this visit that was secret in nature was sent to the press. Basically what happened was Meghan went and visited this place, brought her assistants along, took some pictures of it, and a day later sent that to the press, and in the press release said it was a secret visit. So the articles say, secret visit. It was not secret. If you tell the press and you bring cameras and then you issue a press release, that's not a secret now, is it? This is a child. I think she was like, 14 or something? I don't know, a teen. But look how this teen is holding her arms. Her elbows are close to her body, a clear barrier gesture. You can only imagine her arms are perhaps crossed or like this maybe, clasped in front of her chest, or maybe like up here by her face or something like that. But as you can see from the back, clearly everything is closed in like this. And that generally is a barrier gesture of, I don't necessarily want you to come scoop your arms around me. I have got my arms up and my elbows in. I'm kind of holding myself, creating a bubble and protecting my bubble. Whenever you have your elbows in like that and your arms up in front of you rather than just straight down, you are definitely trying to protect your bubble when it comes to body language interpretations anyway. And when the Meg approached this teen, haphazardly carrying these bags in a very sloppy manner, gotta stay on brand, she approaches the teen child who doesn't change their position at all. We see no welcoming movement or opening up of this girl's arms towards the Meg. But yet, the Meg invites herself into this teen child's space and holds onto her arms and rubs around the elbow areas. And she keeps her hands on the girl's arms, above and around the elbow region, which also places her within close proximity because as you can see, the Meg's arms aren't outstretched, and with her long arms, that'd be like at least a couple of feet of distance, no? Instead, we have her right up in this teen's bubble, just tentacling this teen child. Now, not just because of the teen's lack of response, but just in general, this is unacceptable social behavior. It's a weird thing to do in a social environment, no matter what. If somebody is holding something, even if they're like holding some stuff in their hands and they have their elbows close in like this, and you're approaching them and they do not open up or move or gesture in any sort of inviting way, for you to go ahead and get that close and then start touching their arms is weird and not okay. And it's especially bizarre because this is a teen child. Teen clearly did not invite the Meg into her bubble. No reciprocity here in body language. The Meg should have maintained greater distance here, just from a PR perspective, from social norms perspective, etiquette, just normalness, being respectful to this teen's body and space, personal space. Meghan should have left more distance and not touched her. Perhaps just a handshake, like many people prefer, especially when dealing with strangers. I've had people hug me when it caught me off guard and I didn't expect it, and sometimes it was not cool, sometimes it was fine. That's the problem though. It's a mixed bag. You never know how it's going to make the other person feel, so it's best to ask or to not. In situations like this, it wasn't even a loose associate. Meghan didn't have any prior connection with this girl, a complete stranger. During a stressful time, coming at this teen and touching her and getting into her space is just weird in every way. You'll never lose out by respecting boundaries and by maintaining a little bit of space. There's no downsides to it. You're not going to come off as cold just because you give space to people you don't know very well. But you will lose out eventually and run a high risk of losing out or causing trouble by thrusting your hugs on people, especially a child, by invading people's bubbles. It's super gross and weird and just not smart. An additional layer to this is that Meghan, in a way, was showing up in a more professional capacity, and this girl, in a way, was showing up in more of a sort of professional capacity. She had started organizing people within her community in light of this catastrophe. And so she was there as sort of the leader of this thing that she initiated or started or was trying to get started. Meg has been donating, anything she has been donating has been through Archewell on behalf of Archewell, not her own money. No, Archewell's money. And as one of the founders or one of the people in charge of Archewell, then that means the Meg was there in a professional capacity. Which is very, very different from celebrities just giving their own cash or time as private individuals, LA citizens. Using money from a foundation the way the Sussexes are is self-serving in and of itself. It's not the same thing. So this was not only crossing the line, she didn't just disrespect Teen's boundaries, she disregarded the possibility of Teen even having boundaries. The Meg, so engrossed with herself and so fixated on hugging people and getting that money shot of hugging people, with her camera person at the ready, just went on into Teen's bubble and held onto her arms as if that would eventually force Teen to hug her, to open up her arms. Very strong of that girl to not do that. That was putting pressure on Teen to give her the hug and the shot that she wanted from that camera just behind the Teen. You should teach your kids wax on, wax off to get people away, to stop the weirdness if need be. But it also provided these really awkward pictures. Feeding the media something else to criticize was also a stupid move. Meg here came across as predatory. But what did you think of this moment? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I will see you next time. Have a happy day.